Everywhere we go, people are staring.
When we're out as a family, we are referred to as cute.
Yeah.
But you know what? We are cute.
Let's go.
The Foose family is not a family that you will easily forget.
You pick 2 jumps, you run off, you do whatever you want.
You know, I try to stress to Dasha that she was handpicked. We wanted a daughter, and we wanted a dwarf daughter.
They are in almost every way the typical American family, in spite of some significant challenges.
He has had more surgeries than birthdays.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Ben, have a good day at school, buddy.
Okay.
Have you had breakfast?
So let me tell you a little bit about dwarfism. There are over 200 different types.
And if you haven't already noticed, there's one small detail that makes the Fooses stand out in the crowd.
I am 3'9".
And I'm 4'2".
For the next hour, they invite your stares.
There are lots of different kinds of people in the world. We just happen to be different.
What do you see in me? What do you see in me?
Hey, welcome to the Foose family.
Our firstborn child, Alex, is 12, almost 13 years old. We adopted Dasha from Russia. She is now 14 and a half.
Yeah.
Our third child, Ben, is now 7 and a half, almost 8.
To restate the obvious, Joe, Ginny, and their 3 children are all dwarves, and it is a fact that affects nearly every part of their lives.
Kids, and even some adults, just want to know why. They're just curious. Why are you so little? What happened? What went wrong?
Something that we found a few years ago was the coolest chair. This chair is like perfect for people our size because we get to sit in it and we get to have the same effect as those chairs with the kick-out footrests have. So it's really cool. Really cool.
If you're wondering about political correctness, here are a few guidelines.
The word midget is frequently used to describe us by people that just don't know how hurtful that is. The word midget is an inherited term that's been used for ages that describes a zillion different things, but it always means less. It always means it's not quite a car, it's a midget car. It's not quite a person, it's a midget person. You ready?
Yep.
Are you prepared to die?
Do you need a floaty?
Here's something else to keep in mind.
There are some people that think it's okay to come up to you and touch you, especially pat you on the head, because you're so cute and little. And we hate that. Just like you wouldn't want me to pat you on the head, you wouldn't want me to touch you if I was a complete stranger. In our case, we can't really reach.
Yeah. The kitchen got redone about 4 or 5 years ago, or like when we first moved into this house. You can see how we have the really low counters, and that's so we can reach stuff. You can see that we cut it down about 6 inches.
One of the difficulties of raising dwarf children for us is the expectation we have of them of just getting over the fact that all of these dwarf challenges that society makes it so difficult for us to fit in is just something you have to go through in life. You have to get over it so that you can get on with your life.
We have pedal extensions that allow us to drive any car. People are quite surprised that this is not a specially modified car, only in the fact that these extension pedals bolt on to the bottom. It takes Joe about an hour upside down with specialized wrenches to get it all set up.
While there are more than 200 types of dwarves, achondroplasia, the medical term for the Fooses condition, is by far the most common. It affects both men and women, as well as all races, and it unfortunately comes with a variety of health issues.
In order of occurrence, I would say that the most common medical problems would be first ear issues. Because of the structure of the skull and such, we are more prone to ear infections. And therefore, after a number of those, you then get tubes put in your ears. After you've had a number of tubes, and Alex is probably on his 12th or 13th set of tubes, eventually there's so much scar tissue on the eardrum that there is permanent hearing loss. I'm 80% deaf in my right ear. Weight absolutely is an issue. I was joking earlier today. I was married 15 years and 15 pounds ago. And I would like so much to be able to shed the 15 pounds. Unfortunately, in order to do that, I have to go down to about 800 or 900 calories a day, which I just can't do. I enjoy eating too much. Could I ask you to hand me something that I can't reach? Thank you. Up there, there's something called chocolate fudge brownie. It's on the second from the top shelf on the left side. Do you see that? It's got ice all over it.
Ginny, a substitute school teacher, and Joe, a salesperson in the high-tech industry, have been happily married for 15 years.
I think we're definitely a case of opposites attract. Joe is an incredibly adaptable, easygoing person, and I probably needed a little bit of that stability and easygoingness in my life.
And how about you?
I just fell in love.
I think that being a dwarf has made me a lot more confident, and this has resulted in a lot of opportunities that I've just taken. And an example of this is when a kid is staring at me, I have to have the confidence to let it go or go talk to them. So I meet a lot of people that I've never known, and I just have to go over there and talk to them. What I started doing was I started making money with my confidence. Today, it's Friday, and that means it's concert in the park today, and I'm gonna get the brownies at the grocery store for tonight. Over the past few years, my mom has given me all the responsibility of buying the brownies, making the brownies, and then cleaning up the brownies. What if you hand me two of the double chocolates? Yeah. Thanks. At the concert in the park, and everyone brings their picnic blankets, so they have foods for sale. And one day, I just thought, well, why can't I just sell brownies?
Because Alex is the one selling the brownies, he can get away with being the cute brownie-selling kid, whereas another child, an average-sized child, twice his size, selling brownies, would not be as well accepted in that setting where everybody just wants to sit, listen to the music, sip wine, and not have some teenager traipse through their setting selling brownies to them.
Every once in a while, what happens is I've got two really top customers, like top of my list, and I save them for last. And they're sitting right next to each other. And there's a problem here because it's like the last brownie, and I don't know who to give it to. I'm starting to sell one to this one group, and the other group sees that this is like my last pile of brownies. So what happens is the price raises.
Here you go. $5.
Right here is where we keep track of all of our heights. And you can see, obviously, my dad is the tallest in the family, and top of our head is. And I'm almost to where my brother is when he was younger. Yep.
The average height for adults with achondroplastic dwarfism is 4 feet. And just like average-sized people, they stop growing during puberty. So 7-year-old Ben will be almost as tall as his brother for about 10 more years. For those not very familiar with this condition, here's a little Dwarf 101.
One of my main goals in substitute teaching is affecting as many children that will go out into society as possible. So I always make a point of spending at least, depending on the age level, with kindergartners, it's usually done in about 3 minutes. I go in, I say, I'm a dwarf, this is what dwarfism is. A hand goes up, and little Jimmy wants to tell me about his dog peeing on his carpet.
Jenny has been subbing here for at least the past 3 years. Kids get a little bit of education about dwarfism, and they also are able to realize that it doesn't necessarily have to be a handicap.
So let me tell you a little bit about dwarfism. There are over 200 different types. Mine is the most common. It's called achondroplasia.
The Fooses dwarfism, which occurs 1 in every 25,000 births, means that the length of their arms and legs are disproportionate to the length of their torsos. Dwarfs with proportionate limbs are deficient in the pituitary growth hormone.
Let's talk about terminology, because that's one thing I really want to set you all straight on. I'm comfortable with the word dwarf, but some of the younger generation, the 20-year-olds, don't like that word. So they choose to call themselves vertically challenged or short-statured or something. The other term that I'm comfortable with is little person. With this condition comes almost, if you will, a responsibility that people assume we are on this planet to educate. And we do take that role seriously. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So dwarfism could just happen randomly?
Does dwarfism happen randomly? Yes.
So it could just happen to
Well, both ways. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
In my way, it was random. Nobody else in my family. My boys, it was inherited. It was passed down. And did you know that we had a 25% chance of having a kid like you guys?
When it came to starting a family, because they're dwarfs, or little people, the term we just learned, Joe and Ginny faced some tough genetic odds.
Had I married an average-sized person, our chances of having a dwarf would have been 50% of a dwarf, 50% chance average height. And then we unfortunately run a 25% chance of having a lethal form where the child gets a double whammy from both of us. And they essentially never come home from the hospital. They die of heart and lung failure. They're very, very small.
Fortunately, firstborn Alex only got a single dose, meaning the gene was only passed on to him by one of his parents.
Here, go, 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 go.
However, a severe curvature of his spine meant that Alex had some tough years ahead of him.
He essentially lived at our pediatric hospital for the first 3 years of his life. He has had more surgeries than birthdays. They now introduced titanium rods. He has 2 9-inch titanium rods running alongside his spine with lots of wires.
Today, Alex, although physically scarred, appears to be a perfectly healthy 12-year-old.
Hey, that was awesome. Give me a high five, all right.
The next room is our sister's room. Dasha. And Dasha really likes to make connects and stuff. That's her.
When Alex was 3, Joe and Ginny decided they wanted another child, and this time decided to adopt a dwarf child from Russia.
We brought Dasha home at the age of 4, and Alex was then 3. So Dasha, I found this really great recipe in a magazine called Thai Chicken Curry. Yeah. And it's got some coconut milk. Dasha just is always helpful, particularly when it comes to cooking.
What kind of vegetables are we using?
She's very inquisitive, and that shows potential for learning. She's incredibly helpful and eager to please. Dasha, could you get the rice started, please? And let's make enough for this one. Let's do 3 cups water. So that means, do you know what half of 3 is?
Like Third.
Now, 1.5 cups of rice. Because you always do half the amount of rice that you put in with the water.
2 cups of water.
No, 3.
Oh, yeah.
This is something that Dasha and I enjoy doing together. And I figure it helps her with the math, and certainly you could say this is a daily life skill that she needs to pick up. And mostly we just enjoy doing it together. Now, what temperature does the rice need to be?
No.
Is that where it is?
Yes.
Awesome. You know, I try to stress to Dasha that she was handpicked. When you adopt a child, you are handpicked. And we wanted a daughter, and we wanted a dwarf daughter.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Are you helping Mom with dinner?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Hi. I have chicken hands.
It's okay. All right.
Welcome home.
Good. Where's everybody?
Alex doing his homework, and Ben's zapped on the PS2.
All right, cool.
I don't know why this rice isn't cooking.
You should stir and see.
No, you don't stir rice while it's cooking. Joe?
Yeah.
This afternoon, I heard Josh's smoke detector beeping, and then it stopped. I think that means that the battery is now dead. And you need to get up on the ladder tonight to fix it.
Okay.
The batteries are already out.
I'll find another battery and we'll put it in, or we'll go buy another battery.
The boys get it pretty easy around here. Dasha and I pretty much do dinner. Joe pretty much cleans up. The boys don't know how lucky they are, and that's about to change. Guys.
Who, guys?
You two guys. I have realized that Dasha does a lot more chores around here than you two do.
That's for sure.
Especially regarding dinner. So, I would like Alex to rinse the dishes and for you to load the dishes.
I've got a lot of homework to do, Mom.
That doesn't mean you get out of chores. Come on, finish your dinner. Let's go, people.
I'm not done yet.
Well, hurry up then. Well, we're gonna be here a while, aren't we? And then you'll be doing homework till midnight.
Cat. Don't drop those bowls.
There you go. Put in the dishwasher.
Ben, do you know where to put that bowl?
Yeah. Hey, dude. No, we got just 2 more cups, then we're done, all right?
Come on, Ben.
All right, let's go.
See you guys. Love you.
Is your event outdoors today? About 15 years ago, somebody did a survey about the professions that little people often go into, and ironically, the 2 most common are sales and teaching.
As a family of dwarfs, the Fooses must, on a daily basis, deal with the realities of their short stature.
I think, when we're born and as we grow up, we always have to sell society on the fact that we can do everything they can, or at least we want to believe that we can. You want to make sure you got my message about the city of Dublin? So it's relatively natural for us to grow up and be natural at selling products, services, ideas, whatever. Plus we're memorable. Nobody ever forgets us. Hi, Sue.
Good morning. How are you doing, Joe?
Good, thanks.
Can I help you this morning?
I'm here to see Jim.
All right, let me show him. You're here.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good Morning, Jim. Joe's here to see you.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. How's Pam doing? Good.
I don't know any other dwarfs. I've never met any dwarfs before. I mean, this was the first family that I ever met. Joe is a great sales guy. You know, he knows his product and he's on it. You know, and when something comes up, he's right there. He's responsive. That's the important thing. You know. And when we say Joe Foose, people know who he is. Being somebody who's recognizable because he's short, probably he has an advantage in that regard.
Everybody thinks that if you're smaller, you are less capable to do anything. So when we do an average job, they're completely surprised that we have that ability, and thus they think we are overachievers.
What everybody else thinks can be trying for someone of average size.
Hey, Wilma.
Morning, Joe.
But for the Fooses, and perhaps especially for the men in the family, this can be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, there's tons of examples where, as a little person, I need help. But again, as a man, just like a man hates asking for directions, a man hates asking for help. So for me, I feel like it's even more difficult for me to ask someone for help. But obviously, I've gotten over it, and I've learned that if I can't reach it, I can't reach it. If I can't carry it, I can't carry it.
While Joe is now quite comfortable in his own skin, he admits that being a teenage dwarf wasn't all that fun.
When I was growing up, I definitely felt like all of my friends were getting girlfriends, were going to dances, etc., because they were boys. And although I knew I was a boy, the rest of society didn't see me as a complete boy.
But in recent years, the Little People of America organization has greatly changed the way dwarfs meet other dwarfs.
The little person that grows up in LPA has more confidence and is more sure of themselves.
Joe didn't have a chance to be single in LPA. I got him before LPA got him, and that's a good thing because he would have been swept up.
LPA's annual conference, attended by about 2,000 dwarfs from around the country, is only a few weeks away.
Dasha does not enjoy the conventions. There are too many people. She doesn't like the noise. Alex? So she's going to stay home. I need to talk to you. Alex is very much an adolescent right now and giving us the time of our lives. Alex, can you take off the headphones so I can talk to you, please, and put the Game Boy down? At this point, there's a question as to whether or not he has earned the right to go to conventions. Okay, so you understand that there's a lot riding on good grades, right? So we will be looking at his grades, which in this day of age means we can look at them 24/7 on the computer. It's awesome. And we will be deciding in the next week whether or not he will be given that privilege to go to the convention, which means a great deal to him. If you can't pull up the grades soon, you're not going to be going to convention.
Okay.
So you have like 2 more weeks of school until the report cards come out, and that means you have a lot of work to do in order to pull up those grades.
Okay, Mom, I know.
Be pretty weird not to have you with us. Are you done with your homework?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Having a 7-year-old when you have an adolescent makes everything kind of okay. Ben looks awfully cute these days.
C. Land.
Ben was 2.5 years of begging. That's what Ben represents. I know I've wanted to be a mother since I was 10 years old. We are good people. I just want a normal kid. And the definition of normal had nothing to do with height. It just meant somebody without complications. What was interesting is that medical science would have had it that the gene for achondroplasia was discovered, which meant at that time that we could do much more screening at an earlier stage in our pregnancy, and it was 100% accurate.
By testing for the dwarf gene, which was discovered as recently as 1994, Joe and Ginny were able to determine that their youngest son, Ben, only had the single dose, which was a great relief to everyone.
Hi, Lena.
Hi,
Thank you for coming over. My shoulders are basically a size 4. This is like a 6, and this is like an 8. And so it does make it challenging to find stuff that accommodates all of those curves. This waistband that you already fixed definitely feels better.
Oh, good.
It doesn't feel like it's about to fall down.
Okay.
Clothing is just one example of how the Fooses are always having to make things fit.
Is it expensive being a dwarf? Yes, it is.
It's more expensive being a
If
dwarf.
you want your world to be comfortable, certainly anybody can go and get a regular old washing machine. But back before they were popular and environmentally wonderful, I spent the extra money to have a front-loading washing machine.
Right.
So we are very fortunate that we have the means by which to make our world fit us. This is what I call the Mom-mobile, our minivan. We and every other suburban mom in this town has one. I had only had my van for 1 year, and the second year they were made, they came out with the electric sliding doors. Traded the one in and got the one with the push of the button up at the driver's seat. Those doors open. Now, the trunk that opens and closes, I want one of those. Actually, what I really want is a Volkswagen Bug convertible, but anyway. As technology, I've made it clear to my family that a big birthday, which shall remain nameless, is coming up here. And for the last 3 years, I've been telling everybody that will listen to me that I want a Volkswagen Bug convertible for that big birthday. We'll see. We'll see.
Fooses are a family of dwarfs and have traveled from their home in Northern California to Orlando, Florida for the annual Little People of America National Convention.
We made it, and it was a fairly uneventful trip to Orlando. Here we are in the sweltering, yucky heat. I would say this was probably my 25th national convention. Oh, man! How old are you? I think it's probably Alex's 8th convention and Ben's 5th convention.
In the past, all 5 members of the Foose family have attended the convention. But this year's a little different.
Fortunately, I managed to make my grades better in time for me to be able to go to the national convention in Florida.
Joe and Dasha did not come this year for various reasons. Dasha, being mildly autistic, gets overstimulated with numbers of people and noises and all of that. Joe stayed home with her. He loves coming, and I do miss him indeed. This week on our agenda, I think on Ben's agenda, is the pool, the pool, the pool. He would like to spend the entire week submerged underwater. Alex's agenda, I will try to decipher, is basically dancing and hanging out with friends as far away from me as he can get. Okay, I'm gonna help you. There are many reasons that one would come to the convention. Certainly we have the medical aspects, where we have doctors from all over the country that fly in specifically to see patients all week. And it's an amazing system. They don't charge for their consultations.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Dr.
Come on in.
How you doing?
These physicians, who simply see patients in their own hotel rooms, are an invaluable resource for members of the Little People of America.
Separate beds. Come on, that's...
Ben and Alex both have achondroplasia, but they're very different. Ben has experienced very few orthopedic or neurological problems. He has bowing of his legs, and that may well be a functional problem in the future and have to be corrected, but hopefully not. So how you doing, Guy? Anything new? No?
No new girlfriends.
Come and sit over here. No new girlfriends?
No new girlfriends.
Sit or lay down.
Let's sit right here. Perfect. So, any pain in your leg?
No.
Okay, hop down here. Let's take your shirt off. Good work. Let's see you walk down to the end of the hall. Have you noticed any change in his legs? Getting any worse? So, we see his bowed legs. And when
the left seems certainly, or yeah, his left is worse than his right.
Left is worse than the right, but the thing that we're watching is, you see when he puts his right leg down, the bowing gets a little worse. It snaps out to the side. And so what that's telling us is, when he puts his leg down, the outer ligaments are a little loose and he's bowing a little bit more. And that's one of the things we watch for. If the bowing's getting worse, and that looseness of the ligaments on the outside of your knee is getting worse, and it's really bugging you, that's when we would consider fixing it. But it sounds like you're doing pretty well. The limb alignment problems, the bowing, are very rarely a cause of disability in this population of people. I think the main difficulties that adults with achondroplasia have are related to neural problems that can result in weakness in the legs and the arms that can force them into a wheelchair or some sort of wheeled mobility device. People with achondroplasia have the same longevity as you and I. If they can avoid getting obese and avoid the neurological problems, they can have a happy, healthy, productive life. They're just short.
With only about 12,500 dwarfs in the United States, this annual convention is perhaps the only time some dwarfs see other dwarfs.
Oh boy, where to start with relationships consummating? No, don't want to use that word. A lot of marriages are born at this national convention. And unfortunately, perhaps a lot of divorces stem from this national convention too.
I think the most important part of the convention is us talking to old friends and meeting new people.
We get in a big group and celebrate that we're little people. And we have fun. Main word, F-U-N, fun.
When we return,
Let's pretend we're at a party. There's lots of things going on at the party. What would you do to make yourself feel better?
Pluck my ears or earplugs.
Does that help?
Yes.
That's enough. That's all you need.
Yes.
Okay. You're concerned about her looking different, wearing earplugs, and we look different. That's the thing.
I know. I forget that we look different.
a therapist helps Dasha and Ginny get through some sensitive issues.
Thanks. All right. So, the owners have just driven away. This is Ginny's birthday present. Now I got to get the pedal extensions on before she comes home. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to put these pedal extensions on the pedals. I've already got one of them on. And they basically just bolt onto the pedal that's already on the car and then give you the ability to vary the length of the extension that you need based on the length of your leg. And then obviously they give you a regular pedal to work with. It's such a hassle to put these things on and off. So in order to put them on correctly, you really got to bolt them on tightly, and you got to really make sure that these things are on. And with our short arms, it's pretty tough to get down there. So I basically have to be in an upside down position for a long time to put these darn things on. It takes me like an hour. Obviously, I've got to get them on right, because if I don't put them on securely and they fall off, we might be in the middle of the freeway and have a brake pedal or a gas pedal fall off, and we don't want that. All right, that took a while. Finally done. She really has been wanting this car for a long, long time. It's her 40th birthday present, big birthday, and I just decided to get it for her. And she's gonna love it. So I'm looking forward to seeing her face when she comes home. After months of dropping subtle hints about the car, I finally decided to get it for Ginny. It was one of those decisions that I knew I had to come to, and it was a fun one to go through. We're hiding in the garage. We've put the car in the garage. We've put the pedal extensions on. We're ready for Mom. She's out and about doing her thing. We're waiting for her to come home. And we're just going to surprise her. She's going to be so excited. Who wants to go for the test drive first?
Me.
Me. I want to. Me.
Daddy, you have to stay home.
What?
Because there's only 3 seats.
What?
Because Mom's driving.
The minute the door opens up, start running out there and yell happy birthday.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Come on, Alex. You get on that side.
Yeah.
It's a little vase
Hey, look
for
at that.
Mom to put her flowers.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Ooh, you know what we should do?
What?
Once she gets ready to drive it,
Yeah.
we should put a flower in it for her.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah.
Whoa, that'd be cool. Here she comes. Here she comes.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! What did you do?
Happy birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Happy birthday.
And what a great day to go for a ride in the convertible.
Yeah. It is pretty good.
Who wants to go?
Me.
Let's go.
You stay home.
Hey, hon, you might need the key.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Everybody got their belts on?
Yep.
Here we go! Woo-hoo!
Hi.
Bye!
Oh, wait, one more thing.
What?
I have something for you.
Oh,
It goes in your car. Right?
kind of goofy, but that's
right
cool.
there, dear.
Oh, now I am mellow yellow in my bug.
Love you. Bye. Have fun.
I'll come back and get you in a second.
Yeah, Sure you will.
Bye, Dad.
See ya.
See ya.
There's no arguing that the Fooses are a unique-looking family. They're all really short.
Pick your arms up and try and tuck your knees in. There you go, good.
But it's also pretty obvious that being short isn't really what's truly unique about them.
The definition of a successful family is really one that is happy, is really one that pulls together and works for each other. We all help each other. We go to each other's games, we go to each other's activities, because we support each other in a big way, and that's one of those values that we try and instill in our children.
And although their small size is probably the first thing you notice about them,
Let's go.
it's not the most important thing to remember about them.